Hello and welcome back. This is the Cognitive Discourse podcast, and past couple of days I've fell back into my nerdum, and I've been playing Magic the Gathering with the wife. I forgot how fun that game was. Um, I remember building her a deck, and it still holds up pretty good. His mono red deck wins, and it's pretty good. And the decks I was running was a Golgari, it's pretty aggro. Golgari deck, black and green, and I have a white deck that just pisses off everybody because it's got a bunch of removal, and then it just creates a ton of tokens. And as the game progresses, those tokens get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger with counters. So anyway, it was really fun. But falling into that hole, back again, I started watching YouTube videos and watching that show Spell Slingers and getting all into it. And then I did not know that D&D was as big as it was. Like, I knew D&D existed, and I never actually played D&D myself. Was always interested in it. But there's some bunch of videos online on YouTube that of actors, like actual famous people playing it. And there's one that has Vin Diesel playing, and the group of actors, him and Jessica Chobot and a couple other actors that I don't know, but they play a campaign, and it was fun to watch. So yeah, besides all of that, that's not the topic I wanted to talk about. I just kind of brought that up because I enjoy playing Magic the Gathering, and I'm kind of interested in playing D&D, and I'm actually looking for a DM that knows Dungeons and Dragons very well and is willing to possibly show me how to play. I need to find a good dungeon master. So if you know anyone, let me know. D&D is something that I would like to get into, but I know it's a little confusing in the beginning as far as creating a character and creating its stats and all that fun stuff. So if you're a DM or know a great DM, let me know, because I'm looking to get into the world of D&D. But other than that, we have a topic we wanted to talk about today. And the topic I'm actually bringing up today is one that I ran across on good old Facebook. And it was a meme that basically had a guy talking and then a female reacting back. So I just basically wanted to read the interaction that I had here. And so the post goes, this is the gentleman saying, "Why when women start cleaning up, they get mean all of a sudden?" And a woman responded, "Because help me the fuck out." It says, "Help me the fuck." Sorry, that's actually the response. So I've seen a few of my female friends post this stuff, and I had some responses to them, and of course it wasn't directly to them; it was more towards the meme itself. But then I saw an actual group post it, and I knew I was gonna get flamed. I knew I was gonna get flamed if I went and commented, because it's mostly moms. It's a breastfeeding group, and you may be like, "Well, dude, you're a guy. Why are you in there?" Me and the wife share Facebook, and she breastfeeds my kids, and I get interesting information from there too, even though I'm not breastfeeding. I like to stay on top of it and kind of see what other moms are going through as well, and kind of see the correlation between them and my wife, and it helps me to understand where my significant other's kind of coming from as well. So, with that being said, yes, I am part of a breastfeeding group on Facebook. And so my response to that was, and like I said, I knew I was going to get flamed, and surprisingly, the conversation is very short, but I think it's because the person who came at me, I wasn't able to tag back, so I don't even know if she got my responses. But I'm going to go ahead and read the responses, and then we'll just kind of discuss a little bit from there. So my response to that meme was, "It's about communication. If you want help, ask. Yeah, is it so hard to be like, 'Hey babe, I'm about to start cleaning, can you help me out?' Or even coach that shit and be like, 'Babe, I'm about to clean, can you get the trash together, put your dirty clothes in a pile, sweep so I can mop, etc.' Chances are the dude will be like, 'Hey, no problem, babe. Not only are you getting help, but because you asked or even coached, because you've coached, he will even be down to tag team that shit. We ain't superheroes, ladies, and we can't read minds. If you want something done, voice it. That's what you should do in your everyday life, period. If you want a raise at work, voice it. You want a promotion at work, voice it. Want to go on a date with your man, voice it. You want help around the house cleaning, gotta voice it. Expecting us to know what you want is the wrong way to go about things. You don't want us to assume you will do things for us without asking, so don't do the same. That's just my 2 cents. Now, surprisingly, the first comment, she not only liked my post, but she was the first comment was actually kind of finding that common ground with me and wasn't completely ripping me to shreds like I thought it was. So it was a surprise. So somebody wrote back and said, "This is how my husband is. It took me a while to learn. Because we were raised to look around and do what needs to get done. So now I'm learning to be comfortable asking him to do things, or quote unquote coaching him, because that's what gives our relationship peace." So again, she found that common ground with guys. And it's funny because when you say stuff like that, a lot of women get really upset and, well, I shouldn't have to say nothing and he should just know. And that's basically one of the other commenters comes in and she responds, she tags me and says, or you could just use your eyeballs, you see the mess and clean it up without having to be told. And then another female chimes in and agrees with her and says, yes, LOL. And then the girl that I was originally talking to comes in and says, unfortunately, this is a skill that are usually only taught to women. Me and my 2 sisters can see what needs to be done and do it without being asked. But my brother needs a freeway billboard ad to even get a hint. We're made differently. And in a way, I agreed with her. I came in and I basically put in my 2 cents again. I said, a lot of times, the mess isn't even bothering us. It's bothering you. So you're cleaning it with attitude most likely will go over our heads. We are simple creatures. Instead of pointing the finger, learn to communicate. It's how we're wired. You can either continue to get upset over something that can easily be fixed, or like I said, you can coach it and control the situation to get what you want. Us dudes are fine either way. Most men don't respond to hints. Again, we aren't wired that way. Now, with that being said, I'm a man that can cook, clean, do laundry, both by putting the clothes in the washer and actually folding and hanging them when they're done. I was raised by all women, so I know how to self-care. But again, if I'm about to clean, I'll let my wife know, and we'll make a game plan, and vice versa. We don't rely on hints, or well, you see me cleaning, so you should just know. We have kids, so our house doesn't stay clean long, but we communicate and work together. The only thing my wife may get annoyed at is the fact that I don't do poopy diapers. I can't do bad smells. I throw up easy, so she handles it. But again, she knows I can't handle it because I've told her. Again, and in all caps I wrote, communicate. Nobody responded back after that. And this post happened probably, let's see, how long ago? Almost a day ago. So like I said, I don't know if she got the tag and was able to actually read what I wrote, or maybe she just doesn't give a shit. Chances are she doesn't give a shit. But having that conversation made me want to kind of do an episode on this and kind of explore that a little bit. Because I've noticed that on that page a lot, there's a lot of downing men and talking shit about men. And it's not that I take offense to it, but as a guy, I mean, it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, well, you want to completely null and void our accomplishments and our contribution to the relationship, however small or big it may be, and instead of focusing on the positive that we do, focus on the negative. And I'm not saying all women are like that. It's a certain type of woman. And the funny thing is that certain type of woman typically is either in a unhappy relationship, or they're fucking single and they have all these little munchkins running around and they don't understand why they can't keep a man. And a lot of the reason of it being is the fact that they refuse to compromise, they refuse to communicate, and they just assume that that you, as their significant other, should know how they feel. And I think that's a huge problem. I don't agree with it at all. And that was kind of what I was trying to point out there. And then again, like I said, I knew that those women were going to show up and basically say, well, you see me doing it, so you should just get off your lazy ass and do it. Well, no, like I said, we're simple creatures. A lot of times, and it's funny because if a woman goes and works at a dominantly male dominated workplace, they see a lot of that in action. There's going to be there's that smoke screen on the surface of us just like being rude and crude and being just gross, disgusting men. But at the underneath all that, if you pay attention to the way men interact with other men, if we need something done, we simply ask. You don't see men dealing with the drama of, well, why didn't you do it? You saw that it was there. Why didn't you do it? No, when we come in, and if we have a boss, our boss comes in and says, hey, man, I need you to get this, and this done. All right, cool. When do you need it done? I needed it done by yesterday. Copy that. I'm on it. There's clear-cut communication. And gentlemen, if you want to get your women a little bit better at communication, just a hint, get them into video games. It's actually kind of worked for my wife. She just had a hard time when we got together being able to do that. And since we've been playing video games, throwing her in them, I realized how bad her communication skills were. Trying to tell me where things are located was very hard for her. She's getting better. So maybe do that. Try to get her interested in a video game. And again, if you're a lady that plays video games, then I'm not talking to you. If you're a woman that communicates with your husband or your boyfriend and you don't have these issues, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to these bullheaded women who think and assume that men should know, should read minds. And that's not just women and directly too. There are men that are like that as well. So if you're a man who is, beating around the bush or trying to be passive aggressive about things, suck it up and tell your woman what you want. You'll get results. That's one of the things that I've learned as an adult, and as a kid. If anything that I want, I basically ask for it. What's the worst thing that they're gonna say? That's no, right? So we just gotta learn to, as a community, as human beings, to voice our opinions and voice what we want, and stop expecting or assuming that people know what you want, and expecting that, like, well, it's right there. Like, don't throw hints. Hints don't work. And even then, a lot of the times, I'm such an asshole about that type of stuff that if you're throwing hints at me, and both my wife and my mother know this, I've pointed this out to both of them, and they know this, and they don't do this. But if you throw hints at me, even if I catch that hint, because I'm not a stupid brain dead type of dude, a lot of times I'll catch those hints, and the majority of men, I think, will catch the hints, but they're not going to deal with it, because again, they want you to be more direct. If you're not direct, then it's a waste of time. And like I said in that post with women getting upset, well, they see me cleaning, they should get up. Well, again, a lot of times, if it's not a super huge mess that needs to be attended to right away, most men, it's not going to bother them. We're okay with being, quote unquote, slobs. So if you're looking at a mess and it's bothering you, chances are it's not bothering him. So if you start cleaning it, he just looks at it like, oh, cool, well, I don't have to worry about that now. Is it right? Probably not. We should do better, and we should clean up after ourselves, and we should pay attention to more to that. And I have guy friends who are super clean freaks, so it's not all men. I actually have friends who had cleaner places when they were single than when they actually got with a female. So I mean, it's everybody's different. I guess going into the main point, the nucleus of this conversation is, again, just communication. Communicate what you feel. If you want to get shit done, you need to discuss with your partner, and that it's not just cleaning. I think it's just how you make your relationship stronger in general. You just got to communicate. And for those who are mad at me right now and yelling at their speakers and talking about, shit, you're a male chauvinistic, misogynist asshole, blah, blah, blah. Let me know where you're at in 10 years. Because if you're not willing to look at yourself and change the things about you that may be negative towards others, then you're destined to fail and you're destined to be alone. We all have problems. We all have flaws, and there's always something wrong with us in some form or fashion. The goal is to find those flaws and try to fix them. And again, this is why in another episode I talked about making a boundary list with your significant other. Those boundary lists really come in handy because you're not blindsided. It forces you to communicate with your significant other. It forces you to say, these are the things that I'm okay with, and these are the things that I will not tolerate. These are the things that, even though you do them and they annoy me, it's not going to hinder our relationship or break the relationship. And these other things are things that if you do, I cannot handle and I will not tolerate, and this could be damning to the relationship. Like I said, you need to do those every 6 months, every year. And because personalities can change, people grow up and grow out of certain behaviors and stuff like that. But just communication is key. And I think that if a lot of these women who are getting upset because their men aren't helping around the house, if you just told your man, hey, I need help, or like I said, coach it, be in control the situation. You'll be really surprised at how quickly a man will be like, okay, if you tell him I need you to do this, this, and this, have a list of shit for him to do, and he'll knock it out. Now, if he doesn't, maybe your dude's just a piece of shit. But at least you tried. So that's where you can take that, as far as instead of assuming and having a husband that possibly could help you, and just not savvy to it, versus actually asking the husband and giving him a chance to actually help, and then him just flat out not doing it. And if he doesn't flat out do it, then you have a lazy husband, and maybe you need to reevaluate your living situation. So with that said, that's a pretty short episode today. I didn't want to make it too long today. So again, leave me your thoughts when I post this episode. If you're in the Facebook group, if you're not in the Facebook group, you can find us at the Cognitive Discourse podcast group. But if you're in the group and you're listening to this episode in there, leave me a comment. Let me know how you feel about this. Am I way left field here? And do you completely disagree with everything that I said? Or do you agree? Do you have your own thoughts and your own opinions on it? Is there something that I may have missed and not touching on? Or women, is there something that I'm missing that, me being a male, that I'm not savvy to? Let me know in the comments. Share this podcast with your friends. We're still trying to build this community. And as always, if you have anything that you want to send me, you can send it to cognitivediscoursepodcast@gmail.com. That's cognitivediscoursepodcast@gmail.com. There's no the in the front, so you're just going to put the Cognitive Discourse Podcast. And you can send me anything you want. You can send me questions, a letter that you want me to read. If you're a writer and you have a short story and you want to kind of have it read on here on the air to get some feedback from other listeners and stuff like that, what you can make it better or take out and all that fun stuff. If you have a monologue that you'd like me to read, that I can create music and kind of create a vibe around. If you have your own original music that you want to send and you want me to play it on air, whether I play it or if you want me to review it, just let me know. I can review the song and stuff like that. Anything you guys want to send me, like I said, I've said this in pretty much every episode, but this is a community that I'm trying to build of listeners for you guys, so we can have an open discussion and we can share each other's arts. I know there's a lot of talented people out there, and so I kind of want to be able to experience all the awesome talent that everybody that I know has. So with that being said, thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in. My voice may sound a little bit different this morning. I literally just woke up and did this. So I'm just kind of half awake. I haven't had coffee or my glass of water this morning, so I'm a little dreary still. But thanks for tuning in, and as always, you guys take care of yourselves and you have a great weekend.